everyone, my name is Becky. Thank you for joining me today. You're watching my channel Notes from the Sewing Room, and it's lovely to have you with me today. In today's video, I'm sharing 10 different ideas of summer dresses that could be made in the run-up to summer this year, 2021. Some of them I've made before, and some of them are kind of on my to-do list or to sew list this year. So I really wanted to share my ideas with you in case you're looking for new things to sew up for yourself in the run-up to the summer season. I hope you're having a lovely week wherever you are in the world. You may notice that I have new hair. I've been to the hairdressers, so that's made me feel much fresher, so that's been lovely. And for those of you who are regular viewers, you may notice that my dining room has changed colour. So that's why there's not been any videos for more than a week, because we've been decorating basically, and I've not been able to get into the dining room. I'm still yet to get my sewing machine out because it's been packed away, but I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that I can get that out later. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I've really missed sewing over the last week, I can tell you. So anyway, let's get to it and let me tell you my 10 different ideas of things that could be sewn for summer this year. Before I start, actually, I'll just mention something that I'm wearing today, and this is actually number 1 on my list for today as well. So this is actually one of my favourite ever sewing patterns, and this is the Sew Over It Betty dress. So if I just slip off my cardigan, you will be able to see. So I've actually made this dress in a few different fabrics, but this one is actually a cotton chambray fabric, and I really love this dress. I made it actually for a party that I went to, not last year, the year before, and I've just worn it and worn it and worn it. I absolutely love it. Because it's this kind of denim material, I just feel like it doesn't have to be worn for a dressy occasion. It can just be worn like whenever. And today I'm not really doing anything, you know, I'm kind of looking after my baby, although that is something obviously, and you know, I'm going to the park and cooking dinner, but basically I'm not doing anything exciting, but I'm wearing one of my favourite dresses. So yeah, this is one of my Sew Over It Betty dresses, and this one's actually got a gathered skirt, which I really like, and I just think it makes it a little bit more casual. And if I just stand back, you'll be able to see it's got that lovely V back detail as well, which I really like. So yeah, this is one version. I've actually made this dress a number of different times, but one of my other favourite versions is this gorgeous cotton lawn version here, which I think I got this fabric from Material Girl Laura quite a while ago. But this is, as you can see, a floral version made out of a beautiful cotton lawn fabric that's quite light, and it feels really soft and beautiful against your skin. So I'm just going to hold this up to the camera so you can see it a little bit better. But I just love the kind of bright orangey red flowers on there, the bits of yellow. I just think it's really beautiful. And then of course, again, it's got that lovely V back detail there. I finished this one off with an invisible zip at the back, and this one's actually got a circle skirt. So I'll just slip this on so you'll be able to see me in it. So this is my version that I just mentioned, and it's just really nice. I love the fit of it. I love the pretty circle skirt on it. I think that's really lovely. It's really swishy, perfect for a party. And yeah, I really like it. So if I just stand back, you'll be able to see it a little bit more. So if you are unfamiliar with the Sew Over It pattern, the Betty dress, it's really a 1950s inspired circle dress that's really based on the style of Betty Draper. It has a fitted bodice and a circle skirt, but I've actually made this version with both a gathered skirt and a pleated skirt before, and I think they also look great with this bodice. I really love how it nips you in at the waist, and then you can change up the skirt however you want it to. It's really just right up my street. I absolutely love this dress, and as I said, I've made it quite a few times. It's finished with a facing just around the neckline here, and then a facing around the armholes as well. And I normally finish mine off with an invisible zip at the back, but you could probably use an exposed zipper instead if you preferred. I think this dress would be really flattering on all body types, and it's just absolutely one of my all-time favourites. The pattern's available in size UK 6 to UK 20. Now in terms of the size measurements that I made mine in, I've actually made mine at a size 8 at the top, and then I've graded out to a size 10 at the waist. Now looking at the finished garment measurements on the pattern, the finished bust size is a 34, and the finished waist on the size 10 is a 29. Now my actual bust measurement is a 32 and my waist is 28, so that seemed to work quite well for me, and then I cut the size 10 for the skirt. Now this pattern contains lovely instructions that I think really guide you through the whole making process, so it is really suitable for beginners if you are looking to make a pretty dress for summertime, or of course it's suitable for more experienced sewists as well. But if you haven't given this pattern a go, I would definitely recommend it. And why not give it a try in lots of different fabrics, and there you are, you've got your summer wardrobe sorted. So as I said, I've got 10 different ideas to share with you today, so now I shall move on to number 2. So the second on my list to share with you for what I think would be a perfect dress to make for summertime this year is the Megan Nielsen Darling Dress. Now I've actually made the Megan Nielsen Darling Dress on 2 different occasions. I've made it in both a kind of chambray fabric, and I also made it in a cotton lawn, and both fabrics worked absolutely beautifully for this. Now because the Megan Nielsen dress has actually got quite a high waist on it, I actually wore both of my dresses quite a lot during my pregnancy. Now my little boy is now 7 months old, but I can still wear my dresses even though I'm not pregnant. It isn't a pregnancy or maternity based pattern, but I just found that it was good for me because I actually kind of sized up a little bit. I think I made it in a size medium to begin with, and then I actually sized down to a small the second time I made it. I did find that the pattern had got quite a lot of ease in it, so I think, to be honest, if I was to make it again now, having not been pregnant, I would probably make it in a slightly smaller size again, or maybe I would just kind of take in the side seams a little bit. But that's personal preference because I prefer a slightly tighter fit, or more fitted look. But that's absolutely personal preference and up to you, obviously. So the Darling dress is actually available in both a printed pattern and a PDF. You can make it in sizes 0 through to 20. The great thing is that it's a great kind of versatile pattern because you've got both a blouse you can make and also you've got a dress as well. You've got 2 different sleeve variations. You've got a short sleeve or a longer sleeve. So you've got lots of different ideas there that you can really get your teeth stuck into. And I feel like it's really good value for money when you can kind of just make a pattern quite a few times in different fabrics if you wanted to, or you can make a top and a dress. And yeah, it just kind of means that you're getting more kind of use out of the pattern really, rather than it just being kind of a one-time thing. Now, I would describe the Megan Nielsen Darling dress as a really modern kind of versatile pattern that's quite loose fitting. It's got a gathered skirt, it's got a button down front, it's got some pockets, and it's got ties at the back as well if you'd like to add those on so that you can cinch in the waist a little bit. I actually have tried 2 different versions of the ties for the back. The ties that come with the pattern are kind of short, the add-on I think after that you kind of finish most of the rest of the garment. But another time I'll show you in a second, I decided to make some longer waist ties to actually go into the side seams, and then that formed a bow at the back. So I kind of like that, but it just depends on what kind of look you like and how you like the fit of the garment. Now one thing that I would say about the Darling dress is that I found it came quite low on the front. I don't really like things that come too low on the front. However, I am kind of okay to wear it with a vest under it, or I just have to be careful if I'm leaning forward or anything like that. But to be honest, the versions that I made fitted me slightly better during my pregnancy, but as I said, I'd probably size down if I was to make them again. But they are beautiful dresses and absolutely perfect for summertime. I don't know if they've actually updated the sizing on this pattern since I originally bought it. I did feel like in my head, I might have got it wrong, that it used to be kind of extra small, small, medium, large, etc. However, looking on the internet, it looks like the sizing is slightly different to how I remember it being. So according to the information that I found, it is now available in 0 through to 20. Now for this project, you're going to need some woven fabric, and you're also going to need some buttons for the front. I think there's lots of different fabrics you could make this garment in. It depends if you want it to be more floaty or more structured, but you could really have some fun with this and make it in a beautiful, say, floral fabric or a spotty fabric or something that's bright and fun for summer. So that's number 2 on my list today. Throughout this video, I will be adding in some pictures of me wearing the different dresses and some video footage as well. I'm just going to slip on my Megan Nielsen Darling dress now so you can see that one before we move on to idea number 3. So this is my Nielsen darling dress. This one is made in the chambray fabric and I really like it. As I said, it is a little bit low on the front for me really, but I love the sleeves, I love the button detail down the front, and this version, as I said, has got a gathered skirt, and then it's also got this extra long tie at the back, which seems to work quite well for me because then I can have it as loose or as fitted as I'd like it to be. Number 3 on my list today is the Selkie Patterns London Dress. Now I've actually made this pattern on 2 different occasions, and again this pattern is so versatile because it can be made as a top, it can be made as a skirt, and it can be made as a dress. Now I did actually record a series of videos a little while ago which was about all the different variations of the pattern that I made, so I will try and link those down below in the description box, along with, to be honest, any of the patterns that I mentioned today or the fabric companies or anything like that, just so that you can find them easily if you'd like a little bit more information. But I really love the Selkie Patterns London Dress. It's got a kind of keyhole opening at the front, it's got a lovely tie that you can add on around the neck, it's got some lovely floaty sleeves, and then it's got a lovely a pleated skirt on the bottom of it as well. It's right up my street, I really love it. Again, it's not a maternity pattern, but I did wear it during my pregnancy by just hiring, or raising the waist, should I say, just slightly, to make it a slightly more empire line. But, you know, I did actually I've made it 2 different times as a dress, and my original version I also wore during my pregnancy as well. It was just slightly tighter around my bust. My bump area, should I say. But both of the dresses are lovely. I made one in a beautiful kind of rayon viscose type fabric, which was a beautiful spotty version, and then I also made another lightweight version in some beautiful blue printed cotton type fabric from John Lewis. So yeah, I really love both versions, and it's a really simple make as dresses go. Didn't take me too long to make. I made my version in a size 10. The pattern's actually available in sizes 6 through to 20 in terms of UK sizes. If you are making the skirt version, you could use a fabric that's got slightly more weight to it, so maybe a lighter weight denim fabric. I actually used a heavyweight denim fabric when I made my skirt version. If you are making the top version, a cotton lawn works lovely, beautifully for that. Or you could use maybe a rayon, or you could even use a cotton, kind of quilting cotton if you wanted to. The top has got a beautiful peplum design, so depending which fabric you use, I guess the peplum might be slightly more structured or not. But this is a beautiful pattern that's really good for summer, and again really versatile because you've got all those different types of things that you can use the pattern for. The London dress was the first pattern released by the Selkie Pattern company, and yeah, I think it was called the London dress because that kind of reflects their love of the capital city, and it's just a really good design. I really love it. I'm sure I'll definitely make it again, and I certainly recommend it to anyone that wants to give it a go. Now, number 4 on my list today is another favourite of mine, and that is a Butterwick pattern. It's the B6556, and it is a gorgeous pattern, really kind of pretty, feminine. I love it. It's right up my street. I love the square neckline detail on it. I've worn this dress a few different times. I've made it in 2 different fabrics. I made it in a cotton sateen fabric, which was a little bit more heavyweight. I wore that to Goodwood Revival Festival in 2019. And I've also made it in a cotton lawn fabric. So this is my version of the Butterwick pattern that I just mentioned. It's got a lovely pleated skirt on it. So I really like this. I really like the fabric. The fabric I got from the Fabric Guys. So this fabric was originally gifted to me when I did a blog review for them. I finished my version off with an invisible zip at the back. I love that it's got a square neckline on the back and on the front, if that makes sense. I guess it's not a neckline on the back, but you know where I'm going with that. And I love the kind of plain sleeves because I don't think it detracts really from the neckline. So I'll slip this on in a second so you can see it. Now, this is quite a close fitting dress in terms of the bodice, and it's designed to be lined. However, I think for summer, if you weren't using a lightweight fabric and you didn't fancy lining it, you could perhaps make yourself a little facing just to go around the neckline instead if you wanted to do that, or you could even maybe use a pretty bias binding to finish the neckline off instead. The dress is designed to have pockets. I actually didn't add pockets into my version, but that's up to you. Obviously you could add those in if you wanted to. The dress is available in sizes 6 through to 22. I made my version in a size 10. According to the size measurements on the pattern, that is a 32.5 inch bust, a 30-inch waist and a 34.5-inch hip. But to be honest, you don't really need to worry too much about the hip measurement because it's a really flared skirt because it's got those pleats in there. I didn't worry about the hip measurement too much. I really just concentrated on the fit of the bodice and I wasn't disappointed. It's a beautiful dress. I love it. I definitely recommend you giving it a go. I'll just slip my version on so that you can see it and have a better idea of the fit. So this is my version of the Butterwick pattern. I love the neckline detailing. I think it works beautifully in a cotton lawn fabric, as I said, and it's just really pretty and something different to try for summer. Now, next on my list is the French Navy Aula patterns. That's actually not a pattern that I've tried before, but it's definitely on my to-sew list for the summer. Now, this is a dress that can be made in any kind of woven fabric, but I would suggest using something that's a little bit more lightweight if you want to. I'm planning to use a cotton lawn fabric perhaps to make my version, and I literally can't wait. This looks like the perfect dress for me for summer. It's got a lovely round neckline, little sleeves, and it's got a lovely gathered skirt as well. I think there's lots of different potential that you could do with this particular pattern. It's a free pattern and it can just be downloaded to your inbox really easily. It's available in A4 and A0 to print off. And if you haven't given it a go, I would definitely recommend it. There's loads of inspiration out there if you have a look for different versions on Instagram. I've enjoyed having a look at different people's versions. I can't remember the name of the lovely lady that I saw a version of the other day, so if you are watching, I do apologise, I've forgotten your name. But she made a version of the Aula dress with a beautiful kind of ruffle detail around the bottom. That's not actually included in the pattern pack, but I think you could easily add it on by maybe using a ruffle from a different pattern pack that you've already got or making your own. You could also add some other detailing to the hem, I guess, if you wanted to, maybe a cute lace trim or some lovely bias binding or something like that if you wanted to be a little bit more creative. But this is a free pattern, it looks really fun, and I've already downloaded it myself and it's definitely on my list for the months ahead. The pattern is available in size extra small through to extra large. If you are making the extra small, that's an 81 centimetre bust and an 87 centimetre hip. If you are making the extra large, it's 97 centimetres for the bust and 103 centimetres for the hip. I'm really not sure about the amount of ease that's involved in this pattern at the moment as I haven't made it myself, but I always recommend kind of trying something on through the making process if you aren't making a test version. I know I often don't have time to make a test version. I know it's something that I should probably do, but I never really seem to have time to get around to it. But I do try things on during the making process just to see how I'm getting on with the apps, with the kind of final fit. So I do recommend that you try that as well if if you are making something new that you haven't had a go at before. Number 6 on my list is the Sew Over It Doris dress. I really like this pattern. I made it quite a while ago, but I think it's an absolute classic. So I do recommend that you give it a try if you are looking for something new for summer. As you can see, it's got a kind of curved neckline there. It's got grown on sleeves, so you don't have any kind of faff of adding those in. It's quite cinched in at the waist here. It's got a little button placket. I don't know how well you can see it just down the front here. I will try and add in some pictures of me wearing it. This one's got a long tie at the back, so you can cinch that in there if you wanted to. And it's got quite a flared skirt on it as well. So yeah, it's lovely. I made my version in just a straightforward cotton fabric. I think you'd probably describe it as a kind of quilting weight cotton fabric. I think this dress is perfect for lots of different occasions, whether you're going for a picnic in the park, or you're meeting up with some friends, or maybe you're even going to a party. It just depends on what fabric you make it in as to how dressy this dress actually is. I feel really elegant wearing this dress and quite put together, to be honest, and it's something, like I said, I made quite a while ago, but I still like it and I'll still certainly reach for it in my cupboard this summer. It's got a bit of a 1950s vibe about it, something a little bit vintage, which I like. Pattern's available in UK sizes 8 through to 20. I made my version in a size 10. I don't believe that I made any changes to this pattern. It was quite a while ago that I made it, apart from adding in a back zipper. The finished garment measurements for this pattern for the size 10 are a 36-inch bust and a 29-inch waist. And the hip is 55 inches. Because it's got quite a wide skirt, again, you don't have to worry too much about the hip measurement. You'll need about 6 to 8 buttons to go down the front of the dress here. However, I've not actually made any buttonholes on my version. I've literally just sewn on the buttons because you don't need to open that button placket at all. So it's entirely up to you if you spend the time doing the buttons in, buttonholes or not. I didn't bother. I just sewn on my buttons directly on top of the fold of the fabric instead. The dress can be made in two different lengths. You can make it in a longer version as I have, or you can make it in a shorter version. The Doris dress is supposed to close with a concealed zip at the side seam. Now, to be honest, because I made this a while ago, I was a little bit nervous about doing a side zip, and that's why I decided to add in a zip at the back instead. Now, obviously, that's up to you. You can change up the dress pattern however you wanted to, but it is supposed to be finished with a side zipper. It's also got facings to finish off the bodice at the front and the back as well, which do give it quite a nice professional finish. So overall, I really enjoyed making this pattern, and it's another one that I'd recommend to you to try for summer if you're looking for something kind of fun that you've not had a go at before. Number 7 on my list is the So Liberated Hinterland dress, and this is my version here. Now, I made my version in a very lightweight fabric. I think it might be maybe a lightweight viscose, something like that. I'm not 100% sure. I bought it from the Birmingham Rag Market quite a while ago, but I like the kind of vintage rose type print that it's got all over it. I think it's quite pretty. I wouldn't say it's the most amazing fabric that I've ever worked with, but it worked absolutely fine for this dress. Now, this is a dress that I had a lot of wear out of last summer, and I'm definitely planning to make another version this summer. Now, one thing that I would say about this dress is I made it in the shorter version, and I found that it was a little bit too short for me, so I ended up making an extra little panel to go onto the bottom of it. But I am quite tall, I'm 5'10", so I would just be careful of what kind of length you're making your version in. If you are taller than me, or the same height as me, or shorter than me, obviously it just depends on how long you want your dress to be. I feel like this dress has got a kind of timeless elegance to it. It's quite fitted if you want it to be down here. I've actually added on a long tie into my side seams here so that it pulls it in at the back. You can leave this dress loose if you'd like to instead. Obviously, it just depends on what you would like to do. There's 3 different sleeve variations available in this pattern pack if you'd like to give them all a try or one a try. I decided to go for the short sleeve version because I felt like that was better for summer. The fit is supposed to be quite loose on this dress, even though I've cinched mine in with the waist tie at the back. It's finished with some little buttons down here. It's a kind of pop over your head type dress really, so it is nice and loose. There's no fiddly bits and pieces to do. There's no full button placket if you don't want to add one on. There's no zip or anything like that. So it is a really kind of easy, breezy dress that you can wear all summer long. Now, the website, on the So Liberated website, it does mention that this can be modified for maternity wear as well. I actually made this version during the time that I was pregnant, and I made the straightforward version that came in the pattern pack, and I wore this for most of my pregnancy. In fact, I actually, when I went into the hospital, when I was in labour, I actually wore this dress into the hospital as well. So yeah, it was suited me right up to being 9 months pregnant, because it has got a very loose skirt here that just grew with me, I suppose. But yeah, I love this dress, and as you can see, I can wear it now even though I'm not pregnant. If I just stand up, you'll be able to see. And yeah, it's just such a lovely dress. I really love it, so I would recommend it. I'd never used So Liberated patterns before, but I wasn't disappointed. This pattern is really suitable for beginner sewists if you're looking for one of your first dress to make, or maybe you're looking for something easy as a more of an experienced sewist to make this summer. It's got some bust darts in here, it's got some bias binding facings, and it's also got some inseam pockets and some set-in sleeves. This pattern is available as a PDF download, and it's available in women's sizes 0 through to 34. It's available for home printing, or of course you can send it away to be printed at a copy shop of some sort, a professional printer's. I tend to send mine away to be printed on A0 paper if I can. I just find that that's easier for me and saves time, as I'm often limited on the amount of time that I've got for sewing with a young baby. But obviously that's up to you. You can print it at home if you prefer. But I shall definitely be reaching for this pattern again this summer, so I'd recommend it to you if you're looking for a new summer dress. Number 8 on my list is the new pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. So I've not actually had a chance to make this yet. It's the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra dress, and I can't wait to give this pattern a go. I've seen lots of different lovely versions popping up on Instagram. I always think it's nice to see other people's versions sometimes before I give a pattern a go myself, but it's got quite a lot of lovely details about this that I think are going to look really pretty, and it's going to be perfect for summer depending on the type of fabric that you choose. I'm trying to make mine, or I'm going to try to make mine, should I say, in a viscose fabric, which I think is going to be nice and floaty for summer. The thing I like about this dress is it's got different sleeve variations and different skirt variations as well, which I really feel like gives you, you know, a lot of good value for money if you are buying a pattern. It means you can make it a few different times, and you know, the dress can look completely different depending on the version that you make from the pattern pack, or of course the fabric that you use. So yeah, that's definitely on my to sew list this summer. The Lyra dress is actually available in UK sizes 6 through to 34. The printed pattern is available in sizes 6 through to 24, and the PDF is available in 16 through to 34. The thing I like about this dress is it's a shirt dress, but it kind of looks cool and comfortable as well. It has got that lovely collar detail, which I'm going to definitely take my time with because I'm not that familiar with doing collars, and I'm not sure that I've ever done a collar like this one before. But it's great to push yourself out of your comfort zone sometimes and try something new. It's got a lovely gathered skirt that can be hemmed above the knee, or you can add on a lovely gorgeous ruffle detail to the bottom. I'm probably going to do mine just above the knee. And it's got a lovely button placket down the front as well, which I think, of course, you can have some fun using different kinds of buttons on. So overall, I think this is going to be a great dress to try this summer, and I know I can't wait to give it a go. Again, there's loads of inspiration out there on Instagram, so do have a search around on the hashtag #SewLyra before you give it a go if you are kind of nervous about, you know, the type of fabric to use, or you know, what it might look like on you. I think it's always good to see, you know, how other people have styled their dress and how it looks on, you know, different people, and that always kind of gives me a little bit of inspiration of how it's going to work for me. Now, number 9 on my list, if I can do my 9, is actually another free pattern. I've downloaded this one, I've not had a chance to give it a go yet, and that is the Sinclair Patterns Valley Skater Knit Dress. Bit of a mouthful, but yeah, I can't wait to give this one a go. Again, there's lots of different options in this pattern pack to try, and it's free, so why not give it a go? Now, it's fitted at the shoulders, and then it's got a kind of semi-fitted waist. There's different sleeve options. I'm definitely going to have a go at the one called the lantern sleeves. I think they look really fun and something new to try. There are a number of different sleeve variations included in the pattern pack. You've got a shorter sleeve, the lantern sleeves, a 3/4 length sleeve, so lots of different options to have a go at there. It's also got different finishes for the bottom as well. You can make this as a top, or you can make it as a dress, of course. The skirt version has got 2 pleats in the front and in the back, which I think are going to be uber flattering. I know I love a pleated skirt, so I think this one's going to be right up my street, and I absolutely can't wait to have a go. I think I'm personally going to use maybe a cotton jersey, or maybe a very lightweight ponte fabric. I'm not sure. I'm going to see what I've got in my fabric stash and see what's going to work, but I'm definitely going to give this one a go this summer because it just looks really fun, and again, it's a free pattern, so why not give it a try? I will, of course, be putting all the details of everything I'm mentioning in the description box below, so do check that out if you are interested. I bought some lovely bright pink ponte fabric from Crafty So-and-So a while ago, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I might have enough of that one left to make this project, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Now, the final project that I wanted to talk to you about today for summertime, and number 10 on my list, is a dress that I made quite a while ago, and I think some people describe it as a tunic rather than a dress. It can be made as a top as well, and that is the Stevie pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. I really love the top version, and I've made one version of the dress, and I thought I should include it because it's really suitable for beginners. It's got 2 different variations that you can do at the back. You can either finish it with a button, or you can finish it with a necktie as well, which I really like. So yeah, lots of different options. I'll slip my version on so you can see it. I made my version in a quilting cotton, but again, there's lots of different options that you could do to make this dress. I think it would look beautiful in a viscose or a rayon or another type of cotton, maybe a cotton poplin, something like that. They would all be perfect for summertime. I made my version in a size 3 in terms of Tilly and the Button sizes at the top, and then I graded out to a size 4 at the hip, which I often have to do with Tilly and the Button sizes because I often kind of fall between the different sizes. But again, a great one for summer and a good one to give a go. So I'll just slip it on and then you can see the fit. So this is my version. Now this is actually a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of the type of dresses that I usually make. I often make things with flared skirts or pleated skirts or something like that. So to make something that's quite fitted like this is quite different to what I usually wear. However, I do really like it. I think it's perfect for summer and, you know, something that's quite a quick, straightforward make in terms of a dress. I think if I was to make it again, I would potentially just lower that neckline slightly, because for me, it just feels a little bit high on the neck there. But I finished this version with a little button at the back there. But a couple of the tops that I've made in different fabrics I've actually finished with a tie instead, which I probably prefer. But I think in this fabric, because it's slightly heavier being a quilting cotton, it did work well to kind of just finish it with that little button at the back instead. But this pattern is really suitable for beginners if you are looking for something quick and, you know, different to try this summer. There's no darts, there's no satin sleeves, there's no, you know, fiddly bits really. It's quite straightforward, and as with all Tilly and the Buttons patterns, she really does guide you through the whole making process. The booklet is full of pictures, so it really just kind of holds your hand through each of the steps. I personally learn better by looking at things than actually being sort of looking at the words, if that makes sense. So I like to look at the pictures in the book, and that kind of guides me through how to make something a lot of the time, even though of course I will read what it says alongside it in terms of the description. Actually having the pictures there I find really helpful. So if you do learn like that, like I do, then Tilly and the Buttons patterns are really good ones to go for. I think I did add a little bit of length onto the bottom of my dress. I can't quite remember how much. I think it might have been about 2 inches. Again, because I'm quite a tall lady, I tend to have to add a little bit of you know, length onto Tilly's patterns. So I know certainly when I make the Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa dress, I normally add about 2 inches onto the bottom of that. So depending if you are taller than me or shorter than me, as I said, I'm 5'10", then you may want to have a look at changing the length of your dress if that's something that you'd like to do. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed learning about my 10 different patterns that I think are suitable to make for summer dresses this year, and it might have given you a little bit of inspiration if you are kind of looking to make something new that you haven't tried before. As I said, everything that I've mentioned is going to be down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed watching, I'd love it if you could press that like button and leave me any comments below that you'd like to. I love to hear from you in the comments box. So I'd love to know what you're working on for this summer, and you know, if you've been inspired to make anything that I've mentioned in the video today, or perhaps you've had a go at making something that I've mentioned. I'd love to know, you know, what fabrics you used and how you found the projects as well. That would be amazing. Also, if you could consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, that would also be really good. But thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy watching my videos as much as I enjoy making them. So until next time, I shall leave it there and say thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!